All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Cakewalk. Double honor to apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and the truth. Shalom. This GMS precepts. Nazar Khud here, and real quick, I want to go into an article. A few articles I have here. The first one here is from Newsweek, and as you can see, it reads: the tensions are basically going over the tensions between Iran and the U.S. Right, and this article goes over 5 signs of looming conflict. Okay, 5 signs of looming conflict. Now, if you watch my channel or any of the apostles or any of the brothers, uh, GMS, we always go into certain prophecies, and the tension between Iran and the U.S. is one of the many conflicts or wars to look out for, right? Especially conflicts in general, right? Because the scriptures speak about that. In Matthew's the 24th chapter, it goes into how there should be wars and rumors of wars, right? Now, if you call yourself a believer, if you believe in Yahawashi, if you want the Lord to return, um, one of the things you got to look for is the signs of His return. One of those signs, which He clearly stated in Matthew's 24, is there shall be wars and rumors of war. So, what do you look for? What does Second Ezra's 9 chapter speak about? It says to um, uh, diligently, how it go? My memory. To diligently look after the signs, right? Let me get it. Second Ezra's the 9th chapter. Second Ezra's 9 and 1. Right. It says, measure the time. What the hell? It says to measure the time. I don't know what the hell that was. It says, so this is Second Ezra's 9 and 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Right. So part of measuring the time diligently is looking for the prophecies or the signs that were told to us in Scripture, right? And one of them, one major one, like I just said, is a conflict between nations, and this is one of many, right? U.S. and Iran. Okay, let me pause this. Right, so it says 5 signs of looming conflict. So I'll go down here. I'll leave this in the description. Brothers could read this, and it goes into it, right? It goes into military buildup. Here are 5 signs that point to a looming conflict between U.S. and Iran. And according to prophecy, like I said, what you got to look for is the signs, right? And the scriptures also speak about a third world's war, right? Let me get that. This is Revelation 9 and 12, right? It says, one woe was past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. And that's speaking about the woe represents in this scripture, Revelation 9 and 12. That's referring to World War, World War One, World War Two, and World War Three. Right. So, World War One happened already. I believe it was 1917 or 18 to 1921, around that time, around 3 or 4 years. Then you had World War Two, which was around, I think it was like around 38 or 39, all the way up to like 44 or 45. Okay, then you got the third world. Then you have the third woe, which is the up and coming war between, and which is the next war to come, right? I just thought of something also, Ecclesiastes, right? Because we gotta remember what time that we're living in. We're living in a time of not of peace, but of war, right? This is Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Excuse me. It says, "To everything there is a season, and to every time, uh, to every and a time to every purpose under heaven." Right. So if you go down to verse 8, it says, and it goes through the certain times that we're living in right now. We're living in not a time of love or peace, right? Now read it. This is Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace, right? So right now we're not living in a time of peace, despite what Trump might want to do. He wants to be a president or a leader of peace. He wants to bring peace between the nations. He wants to bring peace between Ukraine and Russia, peace between Israel and Iran. But whatever you might want to do, guess what? There's tension brewing between you and Iran, right? Because UN aligns with, the U.S. aligns with Israel, and Iran aligns with Russia. Okay. Also, let me, where is it? I had Googled. Here it is. This is Ask AI. How close are the U.S. and Iran to an all-out war? And it says, it appears the U.S. and Iran are in a period of heightened tensions, with some experts expressing concern about the possibility of escalation. Factors contributing to the tension and raising concerns about a potential conflict. It goes into the Iran deal, right? That expired or was canceled, I think around 2018, I believe, when Trump was president. Which was basically, it says here, it placed limits on Iran's nuclear program, is nearing expiration, potentially removing existing restraints and increasing the risk of a renewed crisis or even military conflict over Iran's nuclear ambitions, which they never really they never stopped. I believe you had Iran just test a missile recently, right? U.S. military buildup. The U.S. has increased its military presence in the region, deploying advanced aircraft and naval assets. Iran's nuclear program, Iranian proxies, right, which is like the Houthi. The U.S. is actively targeting Houthi militants in Yemen who are backed by Iran, further exacerbating tensions between the two countries. Limited diplomacy. So it's going over um, the recent conflicts that the two nations have, and it's saying, listen, it's the likelihood of war is very possible, right? Um, and despite what they might say on the news or what they might want to do, where's that article? It's very so the signs are there, right? And this article sort of goes into the same things, right? It says the military buildup. U.S. has significantly increased its military presence in both the Gulf and Indian Ocean, deploying B-2 stealth bombers, cargo planes, and aerial refueling tankers alongside key assets like USS Carl. Blah, blah, blah. These moves signal heightened U.S. preparations, right? In response, what did Iran do? Has bolstered its military capabilities, positioning advanced air defense systems around the Strait of Hormuz while ramping up military activities in the region. Another reason, the title again, another sign of conflict, U.S.-Israeli operations and Iranian proxies, right? The Google AI mentioned the proxies between America and Iran with the Houthis in Yemen. U.S. and Israel have both escalated military operations in the region. In Gaza, Israel's ongoing airstrikes on Hamas have drawn broader regional involvement, with Iran's support for military groups aiding a layer of complexity to the conflict. Right, like I said, the Houthis, um, uh, Hamas, Hezbollah, sanctions and maximum pressure. Right, the economic sanctions placed on Iran from the U.S. Demonstrations of military might. That's going into like the war games, right? Basically, war games are when two countries or one country basically displays to the world all the new weapons and planes and tanks and all that shit they have. This this is going into how the U.S. conducted multiple B-52 bomber flyovers. Iran has conducted naval exercises with Russia and China. So, you don't do that if you don't expect to go to war, right? There's no need to conduct military exercises close to an enemy, right? If you don't expect to go to war, you know. Letters and diplomatic deadlines. That's going into the what did it what is it called? The this deal, the nuclear deal, right? So there is gonna be a war, despite what these leaders really want, whether they want war or not. Donald Trump has been said or has been publicly he said that he wants to be a peace guy. He doesn't want war. Whatever he says, the Most High wants war, and he's gonna bring it. He's gonna allow these nations to come against each other, man. That's part of the plan. That's part of prophecy. That's part of what the Most High wants. He wants these nations to come against each other. This is Zephaniah the 3rd chapter. It says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey for my determination." Right? My determination is to gather the nations that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, which is what thermonuclear missiles, fire, death, destruction, right, in the form of these chariots, in the form of Yahawashi coming and returning and wiping out all the kings of the earth, and as well as him using his people, okay, the Israelites, 144,000. It's going to be a total takeover, man, okay? Even all my fierce anger for all the earth shall be devoured by what? Shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, right? So the Most High is really, what he's planning is going to be an ultimate destruction of not only Esau, but of all the kings of the earth. You can see that. Matter of fact, I got that in Daniel 12, right? It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." All right, so that's going into the end times, man, and how the Most High is going to allow these nations to come into one place and basically to destroy them. Okay, and there's and this scriptures speak about, and there shall be a war in heaven. All right. Let me go to another article. Right. So that's one thing. For say it says, "Well, Iran opens door to indirect talks. Can China and Russia help revive the nuclear deal?" Hell to the no. I don't care what article, what year. This is recent too. This is March 24th. Hell to the no, right? Because that's not what the Most High wants. The Most High doesn't want peace between the nations, man. So I don't, whether this is for show to the nations or this is a plan they really want to do. They really want to bring war between Iran and the U.S. It's not gonna happen, man. Right? What's gonna happen is what's written. The Most High is gonna gather the nations together. There will be a war. Okay, and the Most High is gonna gather these nations together to just take them out in one fell swoop. Right? War with Iran is another article. War on Iran could be. I'm sorry. War on Iran would be no cakewalk. Okay, and this article goes into basically how they use the example of That's the same thing. So basically, Trump said it's going to be an obliteration. Okay, you have another senator that said uh, um, um, a war with Iran would be over in 2 airstrikes, right? But that's the same thing they said about Iraq, right? Such boasts are eerily reminiscent of the statement that Kenneth Adelman, a former assistant to Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld and a prominent figure in the U.S. foreign policy community, made prior to the Iraq War. Adelman famously predicted that the war to oust Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein would be a cakewalk. Okay, but what happened? Um, Over 4,000 American military personnel died in that conflict, and Washington is still mired in the turmoil more than 20 years after Ottoman's prediction. So that ain't seem like a cakewalk then, huh, nigga? Right? That ain't seem, if anything, they turn into powder, some flour. You can make some cake. 4,000, over 4,000 died. Oh, it's like I just clicked that. Right? So where's a cakewalk in Iraq war? Right? So Esau is a man that boasts, right? So this article, this guy is actually saying, you know what, the war with Iran won't be a case. And why do they say that? You see all these missiles back here, all right, ICBMs, okay. You see, and also Iran is allies with Russia, and it's known that Russia has a bulk of the ICBM missiles, nuclear missiles created on the planet, okay. So they've got a heavy arsenal, and they're backed by their big brother is Russia. That's why it says what they shall be a guard unto them, man. Ezekiel 38. So all these scriptures, man, oh man, all these scriptures are true, man. All right, and I'll leave it at that. Lord willing, I'll put these articles. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified, man. It's not gonna be no type of cakewalk with Iran. Even though it might sound scary, this is something that we hope for because we understand it's going to get bad before it gets good. And in order for the Lord to return, in order for us to have total rulership, in order for Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, to take place or to come in effect, which is the takeover of Jacob, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being in rulership, before all that happens, war has to happen. Okay? And that's what we're waiting for. We're because why? Ultimately, we want the Lord to return, man, and we want to get out of subjection. Okay, we want to get out of this purgatory. We want things to be, we want the world to be in a righteous state, because right now it's not, because we've got wicked leaders. Okay, so that's pretty much it, man. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters are edified. Like I said, I'll leave these articles in the description. Until the next time, shalawam.